All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarah Soon said he kicked back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page, a dynamic page. Y'all already know what it is. Black Power, Black Frequency. You feeling that frequency and energy, you should most definitely join. Link right down in the video description is in the chat. Click it. You'll get a video introduction rundown on the memberships, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, kingseti.com. Online marketplace, official General Sarah Soon Seti, DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. I got something for your family. I know you're going to like and love. Get over there, check the catalog, get you some, get a discount, shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm, generalseti.com, SETI University, over 2,000 fire presentations from the general. We also got over 40 different subjects. Got the supplemental, also monumental and instrumental research material from the Grandmaster teachers, handpicked documentaries and lectures. There's no other website on the planet that can compare or compete. I want you to get over there and become a member today. Don't you dare hesitate, family. And everybody knows SETI popping on Patreon, dropping nuclear bombs on Patreon. Y'all already know what it is. That's right, the poppin'est Patreon page out there. Everybody knows SETI Live is lit. When it's too raw for YouTube, then you know we kick the dough off of Patreon. We got over 500 exclusive jalapeno presentations on Patreon. I want you to get over there. We got a hell of a day tomorrow. You should not miss it. Become a patron, no matter what tier you join. Is already a treasure chest waiting on you when you show up, family. So I want you to get over there today. Do not hesitate, not 1 second. Get on over there. And the General King Seti is on Rumble. That's right, family. Ready to disrupt class. We just getting started over there. We actually got we got more videos over there than what I thought. But we about to get real exclusive on Rumble, so you might as well buckle in and be, take that ride with me, because it's gonna be a hell of a ride. I'm ready to disrupt class. You know what that means. So most definitely subscribe to my Rumble. To all the family out there, donate to the general. I thank the fact you appreciate me. Any of the family out there would like to donate to the hard work in general, the link right there in the video description is in the chat. I want you to click it, donate. I thank you ahead of time. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels. King Seti, General Seti, Sarah Soon Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid, because I will ban your ass. Okay, here we go, family. Now, we talking about was Esau, because, I hear a lot of Hebrew Israelites, those of Islamic persuasion, and you feel me? They always say that Esau is a white man, and I believe it is because of what what we read in the Bible, where he supposedly was born red, And it said he even had, he had he had hair on him, you see, and so people saying, hey, what does that mean? Does it necessarily mean that he was a white man? I don't, and so what we gonna get, because I see people try to wiggle out of the African, everywhere we go in the book, in history, even in the Bible, they try to wiggle out, the legacy and, the inheritance of the African man and woman. And so, yeah, so now let's deal with this so we can, make some form of a conclusion. Now, the thing is, what a lot of people don't want to accept is that Esau was the twin brother of Jacob, who was later to be called Israel. Okay? Esau is the Israelite twin brother. I don't understand, when we talk this talk. Japheth wasn't the first white man in woman, or the first white man. These were Africans. There's no way you gonna make me believe that one man and one woman gonna have three different goddamn races. See this, no way. No way. I don't even hypothetically, even from an occult understanding, you're not going, three different races ain't gonna have one mother and father. The same mother and father. They're just not gonna happen. You see, and so I don't give a fuck how hypothetical you get. You're not gonna be able to pull that one off. And so what is clear is that Esau and Jacob had the same mama and daddy. They can't, they was born through the same womb. And so my understanding, into my understanding, how, it's impossible unless some really weird, I don't know, it's got to be some really weird shit going on. You feel me? For, to be able to pull some shit off like that. Yeah. It got to really be some really weird shit going on to be able to pull that off. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this. I think it's right. Let me work. Okay. Now this is Genesis 25, starting verse 21. Verse 21, and it says, and Isaac, who was the father of Jacob, later to be called Israel, and he was Isaac was also the father of Esau. And it says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. Barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Okay? And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Now we got to listen to that. So when it says two manner of people, that don't necessarily mean that they are of a different race. It's the nature, meaning, you got some brothers that's laid back. You know what I'm saying? I gave my, when I was coming up, I was the nigga, I was wild. My younger brothers, they were way more laid back than me. I'm with the raw shit. You know what I'm saying? They laid back. They wasn't into the shit I was into. You know what I'm saying? I grew, and I was a little older than them anyway. You know, uh, so that's what that means. You had Isaac and Ishmael. You see, they were two different nations, but they were brothers. They had the same father, even though they had different mothers, they were brothers. And so the thing is, where we got to be clear that Esau and Jacob were twins. Now I don't know, did they? Which means, God damn it, that either I know that you got different types of twins where some are identical, and then you got twins that don't necessarily look alike, but they were twins. They had the same mother and the same father. And I hear a lot of people say the Edomites and this, that, and the third. And it says, but listen here, it says, and when we had Genesis 25, we had verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Okay, now so that's clear. Now we understand that you if you look at the picture I put in there, you got brothers and sisters that got red hair. You see what I'm saying? They got the red hair, and what we call, you got the term out there, red bone, and you got Malcolm X that was called Detroit Red. You see, and so that means you light, but you might got red hair and so on. But that's an African. That's African. You see, and so we got to we got to be clear about that. Is many the Canaanites, the Edomites, and where they tried to portray that these are white people, and which is totally not true. That Esau is the twin of Jacob, Israel. You're not gonna have two different races. That just don't happen. Not from the same mother and the same father. Y'all niggas is, I don't know where y'all get y'all genetic knowledge from. But nigga, you need to get a hold to some one of them them what they call it, quick reference, goddamn genetics and shit. One of them little, they got it, they come on one little page and shit where you, and they what they put it in plastic and shit where you can make a quick reference and shit. You need that for genetics and shit, so you can understand this. I could You're not gonna have two different races, friend. And this was his twin. This was his twin. Now a lot of people don't know that the mother of Jacob and Esau was a Canaanite woman. You see, they don't want to accept that part. That in the Bible, the mother of Jacob and Esau was Rebecca, and she was a Syrian. They referred to her as a Syrian. Now, a lot of people got to understand, ain't no Israelites on the planet at this time. You see, and when the Israelites intermingle with other races and shit, and it's only, I mean, how many different races is it? You got Shem, you got Ham, and you got Jaffa, who is supposedly in Europe. You see, and so really it's only two different what quote unquote races, or better yet nations. A lot of people don't understand that Ham, and though they try to mix them up, that Ham, Shem, and Japheth are African. That's really what it boiled down to. You see, these are black people. Well, you got one that's a desert dweller. You got one who in Africa, and the other realms of the Kushite world, Mesopotamia, India. And then you got the Africans that went into Europe that they called Jaffa. Okay, now it's been, of course, some editing to the book, but in order to make this shit make sense, ain't no three different races gonna come from one mother and one father. That's just not gonna happen. Even if they look different, they still brothers and sisters. That's the reality of that. You see, and so when you look at, what quote unquote, you hear of, a curse of leprosy in the book where somebody is turned white, and of course that is documented in the Bible where there was leprosy. Now, the first white man, you see, that was producing genetically white children was Gehazi. We went over that, where it speaks about Gehazi. Let me see. There it is. Two kings. Two kings. And it says under verse 5, two kings. No, chapter 5, two kings. Uh, uh, verse 27, and it says, the leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. You see, everybody else was cursed, may have had leprosy, but that was an individual. You see, that was an individual, but we talking about genetic reproduction and procreation, where we could see that there was a reproduction of white people, and that began with Gehazi. You see, and not Esau, not what's the other one? Who else they say the Canaanites and so on and so forth. And so, we got to understand that, within the black seed is many seeds. You know what I'm saying? You got the brown, you got the red, you got the yellow, you got all, even in the black, you got blue and purple. You see what I'm saying? You got blue and purple, and then you even got the albino. So you got you got black. You got within the black, you got brown, you got the blue, you got the purple. You understand what I'm saying? Some of our people, got a purple hue, got a blue hue, then you got brown, and then from the brown you get a dark brown, you get a reddish brown, you get a yellowish brown. This is where you get the term amber and amber, burnt brass, brass and copper, and you get all these terms, but these are variations of black people. Red too. You see many times where the Egyptians were reddish brown. You know what I'm saying? And so that was, and you see many times in Africa where, they put the red, clay and red, but it's not just red, it's reddish brown. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that, that is a variation of African people. It is a variation of African people that have a red beard, you know, and that was also tradition in Africa too, dude, where, you get a lot of the brothers, they paint their beards red, and you can see some of the pharaohs had a red beard. So you have to understand that's what that is a variation of African people. But at the same time, we document that his mother, Rebecca, was, and see, they don't talk about that. They don't talk about that. Now, when you go to, I believe it's Ezekiel. See, now it talks about this. Ezekiel 16, and you go to verse 3, and it says, and say, thus saith the Lord God unto Jerusalem. Now, let me say it again. Thus saith the Lord God unto Jerusalem, Jebus, thy birth and thy nativity is in the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite. You see, and so what people got to understand is, because the mother and father, you see, uh, of Jacob. Jacob was not an Israelite, okay? Even though he would become Israel, he wasn't born an Israelite. His mother was a Canaanite. And so, the Ezekiel is reminding them, you see, even though Jebus is Jerusalem, which is the first son of Canaan, but it also speaking to the Israelites when it says, and thus saith the Lord unto Jerusalem. So the Lord God is talking to Jerusalem. Thy birth and thy nativity is in the land of Canaan. Thy father is an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite. Both of those are Canaanite African people. You see, and so Rebecca, the mother the mother of Jacob and Esau, a Syrian, is a Hittite, a Canaanite, a Cushite woman. Okay, let us be clear about that. Neither Isaac, neither Jacob were Israelites. The children of Jacob was Israelites. That's when the Israelites, they were born Israelites, because he had changed his name at that time. So they were born Israelites. But Jacob, Israel, wasn't born Israel. He was his mother. He was technically he was half Canaanite. You see, Isaac, matter of fact, let me see who Isaac mother was. Shit, his mammy might have been that's right. I had to go back. I got to go back. But I got to see who Isaac mother was. Let me see who Isaac mother was. But most definitely Jacob, who would later be called Israel, his mother was an African woman. They don't talk about that. See, they so busy trying to talk down on African people. And so it really, I mean, when you talk about the different supposed nations, you only have Shemitic, Hamitic, and Japheth. And Japheth don't even count really in the Old Testament. He don't really play no role. So it's really between the Hamites and the Shemites. You see what I'm saying? It really, so the Syrians not Shemitics. They were Hamitic, meaning they were Cushite. That means they were Egyptian Cushite, not Shemites or Semites. No, that's not what they were. But a lot of people don't want to accept that because they're gonna have to accept that, that they African, and you got too many of these goddamn Hebrew niggas out here confused about that. You know what I'm saying? They confused about that. Say got you laughing. Yeah, I know. I got to put some witty shit in there. I know. I got to put some witty titles in there. We gotta keep this shit on another level. Yeah, we gotta keep this shit on another level. It's entertainment too. When I put it in there, you know what I'm saying. And so, yeah. But you know what? I just, and I do this, for people to understand that our presence is in the book. It's most definitely in the book, and it's in there in a way that it's explaining a lot of racial shit that they want to run from. They want to run from the Hebrew niggas, and not only the white man, but the Hebrew Israelite niggas too, because they swear they hate African people. Excuse me, they swear they hate African people, but they can't. It's no way because they intermingle within the African blood so deep. It ain't like one of the. I mean, listen, the Israelite. But these niggas mind, they just like niggas you see today who, black is midnight. And that include all the shades in between. We're not singling out. And, they totally in alignment with a foreign culture against their own people. You see what I'm saying? They totally align with a foreign culture against their own people. So ain't no way you gonna tell me a Hebrew Israelite know the goddamn book and still could twist their goddamn lips up and speak against Africa. That just don't make no goddamn sense. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you don't know what you think you know. And so when we look and we answer the question that Esau was an African. He was, he was what you would consider a red bone African. That he was more likely a brownish light skin color with red hair. This is what the allegory is speaking to. You see what I'm saying? Which is just like we're beautiful people. We got all variations of colors within our seed. And just like us, we got all variations of colors, all beautiful. You understand? In essence, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, you got the dark, you got the black, you got the black with the hue of purple, blue. Then you got the brown, and then you got dark brown. You got reddish brown. You got yellowish brown, which they again, and which give you in the reddish brown. They give you the what they call the copper, the brass color, the amber. You you see, in many of those, those type of colors. But and then you got the albino too. And so all of those are variations of the black gene. So and so again, we document that the what they call the Edomites, the children of Esau, were not white people. That's not true. That's not true. Especially when this Esau was the twin of Jacob, who later to be called Israel. Both Esau and Jacob, Israel mother was a Canaanite woman. She was a Syrian, and the Syrians were the children of the Hittites, which are nothing but African, the son of Canaan, Heth. Okay, and we know that the Hittites were also, part of the Trojans. They were Ethiopians because, again, when I go over that, Troy is in Turkey, and which today is Turkey, which was the land of the Hittites. The Trojans, is in northern Turkey, very close, we'll say West Turkey. And we know that Memnon, who was the king of Ethiopia and Elam, today known as Persia, he was the king of Ethiopia, and he went up to Troy as an ally of his uncle Piram, who was the king of Troy. So, which means in order for Piram to be the uncle of Memnon, that he himself would have had to been Ethiopian too. How the hell you gonna be the uncle of an Ethiopian unless you Ethiopian? So the Hittites, and according to the Greeks also, that that area with what we call Syria, Hittite, or even up through there, Phoenicia, all of that. That's African. That's Canaanite. And so Rebecca, the mother of Esau and Jacob, was an African woman. And I went over that again, where Ezekiel kindly reminded them again, Ezekiel 16, verse 3, and it says, and say, thus saith the Lord God unto Jerusalem. Okay, unto Jerusalem, talking to the Israelites, thy birth and thy nativity is the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother was a Hittite. So that right there explains it, because again, the Israelites don't start until the children of Israel. Jacob himself, he wasn't even Israel until his name was changed. He wasn't born an Israelite. Okay, he wasn't born an Israelite. His mother was a Canaanite woman, which would have made him Canaanite. You see, so yeah, they don't talk about that, but Ezekiel reminded them, and so that's why they want to change the racial classification of Canaan, even though in many books, history books, religious dictionaries and all that, they refer to the Canaanites as Negroes because a lot of people justified slavery off of that, saying that niggas was Canaanites. You see, and this, that, and the third. And now that we understand all who the Canaanites is, even Melchizedek was a Canaanite. He was an Amorite. You see what I'm saying? Who God, many say Melchizedek was God himself because he had no beginning, no end. He had no mother or no father. He was God-like, and so so many great personages have come up under the Canaanites, up under the Egyptians, under the Ethiopian, Sudanese, the Puntites, and many others, you know what I'm saying, of that Hermetic bloodline. And now we know it and we understand the power in that. A lot of people are nervous about, our knowledge in the book, in the mastery of the book. And so, it was, I feel, I'm glad y'all came out and, Sarah was Isaac's mother. Okay. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm glad you said that. Sarah was Isaac's mother. That's true. That's right. I don't know why I didn't recognize that. Yeah. But, you know, do I think, yes, I do believe that well, that's a part of the craft, studying magic. Yeah, yeah, yes, indeed. They had a very profound knowledge in magic. You know what I'm saying? And, we could deal with it. But, many cultures documented. The Bible documented too. Because, shit, the high priests, they were, even with the battle between Moses and shit, where they was able, to cast they staves down and turn them into serpents. You see what I'm saying? And so, even though that very well is an allegory, we got to understand that alchemy and those type of things is also was considered aspects of magic. You see what I'm saying? The alchemical sciences, of the ancient world that was magic. And so, we most definitely could deal with that. I'll put something together and we'll talk about it tomorrow, family. I appreciate y'all coming out, hit some of them links down there, support the general, and I'm going to put me in here a heavy, heavy lineup for tomorrow, and I want you in the house. This is the General Sarah Soon said. He saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, liberation through African education and confrontation, Black Power.